Welcome to the Delhi Township Board of Trustees meeting for June 24th, 2015. Again, we'll take a moment of silence for Officer Sonny Kim, who tragically lost his life when he was murdered in the line of duty. And we know a lot about it. He left behind a wife and 3 kids. And then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start with motions for consideration. Mr. Luby.
Motion 2015-102, approve the minutes of the regular Board of Trustee meeting held on June 10th, 2015, and dispense with the reading.
I move motion 2015-102 to approve the minutes of the board from June 10th.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion 2015-103, approve bills for payment.
I move motion 2015-103 to approve bills for payment.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2015-104, approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending June 9th, 2015.
I move motion 2015-104 for the payment of overtime.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2015-105, accept the voluntary resignation of Matthew L. Legadrost, part-time firefighter paramedic, effective June 12th, 2015.
I move motion 2015-105 to accept the voluntary resignation of Matthew Lagadrust.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2015-106, accept the retirement notice of Police Sergeant Robert W. Schwabel, effective June 30th, 2015.
I move motion 2015-106 to accept the retirement notice of Police Sergeant Robert W. Schwabel.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we'll move to presentations. We do have 2 presentations tonight. The first one will start with the Fire Explorer Post 2697 with Chief Campbell. Step out.
Yeah.
Are you filling in for Campbell? All right. You just made Chief.
My name's Chief Campbell. Well, my name is Christopher Gundrum. I'm a part-time firefighter EMT for Delhi. Chief Campbell and Dave Bankin, who I guess are leading this, got turned out on a run. So I'm going to fill in. This year at our Explore competition, we took first place. I believe there's like 5 teams. Kind of a couple dropouts at the last minute, but so we placed first in 4 different events, which which were ropes and knots, bucket brigade, Jeopardy, and search and rescue. Also listed are second place, communication, barrel fill, and third place, ladder relay, backboarding, and obstacle course. The explorers that competed this year were Ryan Smith, Billy Russo, Matt Metzner, Taylor Heim, Casey Pellman, Jamar Wagner, Brendan McWilliams, and Adam Wilsbach. Our explorers range, the program is for the youth, ranges 14 to 21 years old, and it helps, build the knowledge, hands-on, and, I guess learning, the duties of the fire department and how we run and, things like that. So, in the notes here, the vision of the Exploring is to provide positive and meaningful real-world career experiences and leadership development opportunities for all teenagers and young adults in their chosen field of interest. So we got Taylor. She's going to go into the Navy. She was in nursing program. She just chose to do that. She wants to become a corpsman. So, being a fire explorer and the EMS world and stuff, that kind of helps along the lines there. Chief Campbell's back.
You want to go to the bullpen?
I'm going to go in and call him in.
You want to step up, Chief?
What'd you cover? Everything?
All of it.
No. One of the things that certainly he probably touched on, I heard him as I was coming up the stairs. I'm a big fan of scouting in general, but the opportunity that these young men and women have to interact with both agencies, police and fire, and really model their, I guess, future aspirations after it. I mean, I know not everyone goes through scouting and explore programs to become police officers and firefighters. We have hired many of our fire explorers. I know Chief Howarth has hired many of the police explorers, but there's a reason for it. It's a great feeder group. We get them in and around the stations. We get to know who they are. It says a lot about the organization, and you know, without a doubt, our post, certainly from the fire side, we're very proud of what they've accomplished. Did you go into the actual activity? What you guys did? Okay. All right. I'm proud of them. I really can't speak anymore on the fine work that they've done, and
I think some of your regular guys volunteer a lot of time to this as well.
yes, all three of our advisors. Dave Bankin is our career firefighter paramedic. Chris Gundrum and Mark Russo both assist as in an advisory capacity, so they're the leaders that are meeting each week. And whether they're on duty or not, they're volunteering their time off duty to actually helping them with their skills, working with them on all the program. And it's self-funded. I don't know if he mentioned that, but the fire department, when economies really turn south, a lot of fire departments struggle because line items, you know, maybe it was equipment and things like that that they were actually purchasing for these posts. All the posts started drying up, and ours kind of hung in there, and Dave has done a fabulous job. All the advisors have done a fabulous job with fundraising, and they basically augment that off the Boy Scouts. So if you see them selling popcorn up at Kroger's, this is what it's going for. It buys the shirts, it helps them with the competition, gets them nice things to have so they can really be proud of what they've established.
Right.
Good?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Could we have, since they're all here,
Do you want to introduce them?
introduce them and have them maybe just walk up and give their name?
Yeah, just if you want to form a line, just introduce yourself. So
Come up to the
Get some
mic and
face
say
time.
your name.
Literally like 2 more minutes. Dave will be up here.
Whoa.
just one at a time. If you just want to step up to the microphone, introduce yourself or say your name, so we all know who you are.
My name is Ryan Smith. I've been with the post for 3 years.
Thank you.
My name is Matt Metzner. I've been with the post about 2 years now.
My name is Jamar Wagner. I've been at the post for almost 2 months now.
My name is Adam Willsback, and I've been with the post for a year now.
My name is Cassidy Pellman, and I've been with the post for about a year now.
My name is Billy Russo, and I've been with the post for about a year. Well, 3 years.
Well, thank you to all of you, and congratulations on your accomplishment. Next presentation, we'll call up Chief Howarth for the Delhi Township Police Explorer Post 934.
I'll kind of go the opposite way. Why don't you introduce yourself first and how long you've been with the post?
My name is Greg Weber, and I've been with the post for 8 months now.
My name is Layla Sockett, and I've been with the post for about 8 months.
My name is Austin Lee, and I've been with the post for 4 years.
My name is Melissa Rother, and I've been with the post for about 4 years now.
Thank you. Y'all can stand on up here. We also had our regional competition this year, and we placed second overall.
which very proud of the individuals. I'd like to mention the other names. They're up here on the board, but in case you can't read the board, Austin Lee, who's here, Ryan Lee, Corey Dinsmore, Melissa Rothert, Dominic Breen, Matthew Stevens, Jada Stanforth, Layla Sackett, Greg Weber, Ethan Osborne, Toby Dreyer, and Zachary Alton. That's the team that we took to the competition this year. They took second place overall. Cincinnati Police Department?
Yes, Cincinnati Police Department
took first place this year. This is a competition that we go to every year. 2013, we took first place overall in 2013, 2 years ago. The nice thing about it is I have good feelings about the next 2 years because all 12 of these individuals will be back for 2 more years. So if we took second place this year, then I can see the next 2 years we can step up. But also, just to give you an idea of the competition that they went up against, Cincinnati PD had 2 teams. Since they're so big, they had 2 teams there. Madeira PD, Springfield Township, Erlanger Independence, U.S. Customs and Border Protection had 2 teams. Westchester PD, Louisville Metro PD had 2 teams. Miami Township, City of Cincinnati, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, Butler County Sheriff's Office had 2 teams, and the City of Fairfield PD. So they went up against some stiff competition. I'm very proud of each and every one of them. I'd like to introduce Officer Matthew Coldiron and Officer Joe Goddard, their advisors. Also, the head advisor is Sergeant Gary Schlomer, who is not here this evening with us. He's a sergeant on patrol. This also, like Chief Campbell said, right now, out of the 29 sworn officers, I have 8 officers that came from the Explorers. So that's a pretty good percentage. So if you take those odds, there's a good chance one day down the road, they're young now, that you might see one of these wearing this uniform I have on right now, and I'd be proud to say that. Matthew Coldiron and Joe Goddard are 2 of our most recent Explorers that came up through the ranks. You go all the way back to the lead advisor, Gary Schlomer. He was hired here in, I believe, 1995. The post started in 1992. So he was our first one. So it's really proved beneficial. I'm proud of each and every one of them, the ones that are here and the ones that aren't, and looking forward to good things. And I thank you for everything you do. Also, on a secondary note with Chief Campbell, financing is always an issue. When we went through budget cuts, at one time they were funded through the department. No longer do we actually fund them through township funds. They raise all their money. So likewise, if you see fundraisers, that haunted house has been up there since I don't know what year, but you're probably not going to stand correct. You won't see it there this year because of what Thriftway, the old Thriftway, is going through. So they're going to have to find other means to fundraise. But if you see them out there also selling things, we appreciate it. They go to national competition every 2 years, every other year. It'll be next year that they'll be going to nationals, which is in where next year? Flagstaff, Arizona, so you can see what kind of money that costs. One last thing I'm proud to announce is Austin Lee. If you can step forward just so people can see you. Austin Lee won an award this year. He received the 2015 Joey Ward Memorial Scholarship at the competition. Joey Wood was an explorer with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. He later became a dispatcher. He was an influential part of the Explorer Post as well as the Grant County Public Safety Communications Center. When on January 24, 2002, he was shot and killed by a man who became jealous of Joey's relationship with his ex-girlfriend. So they created the Memorial Scholarship Fund. In order to win this scholarship, each and every year, the individual has to submit an essay describing the 3 most important qualities of a law enforcement officer. Has to send in the school transcript, submit resume with the accomplishments, awards, service, obtain a letter of recommendation from post advisor, letter of recommendation from school representative. He didn't need one for me. He still won the award, I guess. And then all of his awards and accomplishments. And I know he's worked on his Eagle Scout. And you received your Eagle Scout yet? Real close. There you go. So he's done a lot. He won that this year. Out of, I don't know, how many explorers go through this competition, would you say? Estimate. 150 to 200 maybe. If you figure we took 12 or 14 and all these other teams are taking that, you know, so it adds up. So that's a very good accomplishment, and proud of you for receiving that this year, and hopefully in years to come we can bring that scholarship home too. All righty? Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you and congratulations. All right, at this time we can take a minute. Anyone here for those 2 presentations, if you guys want to take off, now. You don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. Feel free to go celebrate, enjoy your evening. If you want to stick around, feel free, but if you want just a minute or two, feel free to go home. Easy. All right, we can continue with the meeting. Next, we have trustee correspondence. Trustee Seavey.
I'd just like to send out a congratulations to our Parks Director, Josh Torbeck, on the recent birth of his daughter.
Congratulations to Josh. I also want to discuss a little of the events that happened this weekend with the flags at the firehouse. I'll take, if you want to shut those. I'll start off with what transpired and what I hope to see in the future. On Friday, we all know Officer Sonny Kim was murdered. It was premeditated. It'd probably meet every element of aggravated murder. And he lost his life, which is unfortunate because it's the first time the officer did this or lost his life in Cincinnati for 15 years. Obviously, a lot of communities, municipalities, lowered their flags to half-staff. Our administrator texted us, said should we do the same? We did. We responded, go ahead, lower it. It was my understanding we were going to lower all the flags. Unbeknownst to me, they weren't. So Sunday afternoon, I start getting a lot of text messages, phone calls from residents, from police officers, telling me we didn't lower the fire department flags. Okay, why not look into it, find out what's going on? I also became aware there were several phone calls to the fire department, people complaining, asking why do we have them up? Because that is our symbol as a township, to communicate to the other communities, to residents, to visitors, of how we mourn and how we show respect, and we still had our flags at full staff. I inquired why we did. I requested that the flags be lowered, only to say they wouldn't be lowered because of protocol. Kept getting the same answer because of protocol, and the protocol was the flag code, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Needless to say, I was upset. I was mortified that all the communities, Cincinnati, Greene, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, all had their flags at half staff. We had ours at full staff. People driving by thought we had no respect for City of Cincinnati Police Department. I was approached in court on Monday and Tuesday by Cincinnati police officers asking me, why didn't you lower your flags? Do you guys not respect us? Why? And I didn't have a good answer because I requested them down. Next day, I'm still upset. I sent an email to our administrator stating that we are not bound by the flag code. We need to lower the flags. With a response with the email that all flags will be raised to full staff, which I was mortified and frankly found offensive. A few hours later, another email comes out. We're going to lower them all to half staff. And it just shocks me that that even occurred with what happened and the way Officer Sonny Kim lost his life. We work with District 3, City of Cincinnati. We border Cincinnati, but we left our flags full staff and hid behind protocol. So what is the protocol that was cited? Well, it's the flag code. If you guys don't know, the laws relating to the flag of the United States was found to detail the United States Code, Title 4, Chapter 1 pertains to the flag. It outlines the various things you need to do to respect it, for advertising purposes, pledge allegiance, those kind of things. It outlines what you need to do. It addresses half-staff, and in Section M, to summarize, it says basically when a president or governor orders that the flags be half-staff, they get put to half-staff, and there's several reasons that it would occur. Death of principal figures in the United States government, governor of a state. The governor can order if there's a death of the president, former president, vice president, chief justice, retired chief justice, speaker of the House, it shall be lowered to half-staff. Nowhere in that flag code prevents us from lowering our flag. It says it shall happen. And I agree, we shall follow the flag code. But there is nothing that prevents us from lowering our own flag to show respect, especially when all our neighbors did the same thing. There's no exception in that code. If you strictly adhere to it, there's no exception for the grieving community to lower their own flag. If someone tells you that, that's not true. So to say we follow protocol and we follow this flag code, and that's the only time we're going to lower our flags, is terrible. When we see Greene County, the Hamilton County, the city of Cincinnati, all doing the same thing, yet we don't do it, what message does that send as a township to people? Keep in mind, this flag code is not law, is not a regulation that mandates us. A resolution has never been passed by this township that we adopt it and will strictly adhere to it. This is a guide. It tells us when we should. It doesn't tell us when we should not. And groups, individuals, if they want to strictly adhere to it, that's their prerogative. Go ahead. Feel free. But for a township to do that is an absolute mistake. Because as long as we lower that flag to half-mast and we don't disrespect it, to show the flag of the United States, to show that we communicate, that we mourn, we can do it, and we should do it. And there's no question that the fact that Officer Kim got murdered in the line of duty would warrant that. And the fact it wasn't done is offensive. Like I said, the code says when it should be lowered. It does not tell you we can't lower it. So let's think about this. There was a proposal that we should pass a resolution and strictly adhere to this flag code as is. That's the only time we lower the flag, which would be an absolute mistake. What if there's a terrorist attack in Delhi? And you say, who's going to attack Delhi? It's, for a terrorist. Well, what about a terrorist act? What about pipe bombs in the school? And I can tell you, our police officers have found pipe bombs in Delhi. It's very possible. So we have a terrorist attack in one of our local schools. Children die. Maybe one of our officers die. We're not going to lower the flag because the flag code says it's not in there. And we're going to wait for the governor to tell us 7 days later to lower our flag. What if there's a massive school shooting, like Sandy Hook? 20 kids die, adults die. We're not going to lower our flag to half-mast as our community to mourn, to show that we care. And is anyone going to say that's offensive to lower it? What if there's a church shooting, like Charleston? People die. We're going to strictly adhere to this flag code and not lower our flag to half-staff. Is ridiculous. Because you know who our first responders are in our community who's going to respond and potentially lose their life when they walk out to go to work? Is our firefighters and police officers. You look at 9/11, who are the first people to respond? Police and fire. When there's a mass shooting in a school or a church, guess who's responding? Those officers are going to go in there and risk their life every day. And should they lose their life in the line of duty, we should absolutely lower the flag immediately until that officer's service. I can't imagine if those hypotheticals would occur and we wouldn't lower our flag and we would wait the 7 days until the funeral service for the governor to order us to do it. Especially when we see our neighbors all doing the same thing. So what's my point? My point is, let's follow the flag code, but it's not an end-all be-all. The code tells us when there are times we should lower our flag to half-staff, but it doesn't prevent us from doing so. And as long as we show respect and we use some common sense, I think 99% of the time we'll get it right. Now, that opens up interpretation, case-by-case basis. I get that. But if a firefighter loses his life in the line of duty, if a police officer loses his life in the line of duty, if a Delhi resident gets killed in action, that absolutely warrants we put our flags to half-staff and not wait for the governor to tell us. And there's nothing that mandates us that we can't do that. It's sad to say, but I know this is going to happen again. There will be another first responder that's going to lose their life. And what I hope that we make the right decision and right move next time. So we don't have residents calling. And I can tell you, when I had to tell the officer Sunday night we weren't lowering the flag because of protocol, there was some colorful language. And I don't blame them one bit, because I was just as upset. So I'm only one person, I'm only one vote. But hopefully if this ever happens again, then we make the right move. We lower at half staff. We still adhere to the flag code, but we use a case-by-case basis, and we honor the fallen that they deserve in the line of duty. So that's all I have tonight for trustee correspondence. Report from the fiscal officer.
Now we'll have the opening and the reading of the bids for the Delhi Township Road Project 2015-A. This is from Barrett Paving Materials, Inc. in the amount of $953,383.20. $953,383.20. This is from Pruce Construction Company. $1,004,199.07. $1,004,199.07.
He has to read it.
It's from Adlita Construction. $921,120.52. $921,120.52. And the last one is R.A. Miller Construction Company. For a total of $994,141.55. $994,141.55.
Can we have the motion, Mr. Luby?
Motion 2015-107, approved to forward the bids for the Delhi Township Road Project 2015-A to the Public Works Department for review and to determine the lowest responsive and responsible bidder.
I move motion 2015-107 to approve the forwarding of the bids to the Delhi Township Road Project 2015-A to Public Works.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Next, we do have a public hearing. Mr. Luby, can we have the motion?
Motion 2015-108, approve the opening of the hearing for the 2016 tax budget.
I move motion 2015-108 to open the hearing for the 2016 tax budget.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes. Mr. Luby?
Okay, the preparing the tax budget is part of the budgetary process prescribed by the provisions of the Ohio Revised Code. So we use the tax budget as a planning tool to determine the needs of Delhi Township. This tax budget is a rough estimate for 2016. So then in the oncoming months, Mr. Landrum, myself, and department heads and FAB board members will go ahead and fine-tune these numbers through the remainder of the year. Pete, do you have anything else you want to add?
And I don't think there's any public comment because I see the usual suspects tonight. So, Mr. Luby, can we have the motion?
Motion 2015-109, approve the closing of the hearing of the 2016 tax budget.
I I move motion 2015-109 to approve the closing of the hearing on the 2016 tax budget.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Next, we have a report from the departments, and we have Mr. Landrum.
Just to bring up to date on the strategic redevelopment plan that happened, we appreciate everybody's participation during June 9th, 10th, and 11th events. They were very successful. The last event, which was more of an open house style, we had about 60 individuals there at the senior center. We appreciate all the input. Much of the work is still ahead of us. We have an oversight committee will be meeting and working on the draft and reviewing the draft materials. And then we still have to set a date for August, but Stantec will be back in August. But just because they're not here doesn't mean we're not meeting with them. We're conference calling every week, and there's all kinds of homework that we're doing, and contacts with land property owners and businesses, and all kinds of things behind the scenes that are still going on. So we have updated the township website under economic development, strategic redevelopment plan. If you go under economic development tab and look for the strategic redevelopment, all the presentations that were given, the hand presentations, there's pictures, the last trustee video, trustee meeting presentation of the economic development is also found here. So you can just keep up with what's happening by going to our website, and of course our Facebook page also. We often post this type of stuff there. And as you mentioned, Trustee Seavey, Josh, Director Torbeck, had a birth of his child last week, so he could not make tonight's meeting, but he did want me to pass on the Father's Day fishing event, that it went very well on Sunday. Cool in the morning, beautiful morning, a little hot in the afternoon. There were about 50 to 60 spots that were filled in the AM, about 25 out of the 60 in the PM session. Everyone enjoyed themselves. There was a lot of father-son, father-daughter, mother-son, mother-daughter, a lot of different combinations out there. Wanted to do a special thanks to Jim Schneider and On the Way Bait and Tackle for being such a big part of the event. And there's a few pictures. We posted all this on Facebook as well, so please connect with us there. But very successful. Somebody asked on Facebook already today, when's the next thing? There's a Boy Scout event that will be at the lake. There is summer camp. We'll be having an event at the lake. And then we haven't exactly set the date yet, but the fall, like we did last year, there'll be a fall event at the lake as well. So that's all I have tonight.
Next, we'll move to reading resolutions. Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2015-096, resolution approving purchase order obligations incurred on behalf of the township by the township administrator, authorizing payment of certain purchase order obligations and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution. Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading. All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug? I'm sorry.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-097, resolution adopting tax budget for fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2016, pursuant to revised code 5705.28 and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution. Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading. All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-098, resolution authorizing application for a grant from the Hamilton County Engineers Office for 20% licensed tax funds to assist in the cost of the 2015 various street rehabilitation and repair project expenses, authorizing the Director of Public Works to execute any required documents in connection with the grant application, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution. Any discussion on this resolution? You have anything to add, Ron, or is it? Okay.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading. All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-099, resolution establishing reasonable charges for use of fire and rescue services, ambulance services, or emergency medical services per revised code 505.84, restating billing policies, continuing contract with Medi-Account Management, Inc. for billing and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution. Any discussion on this resolution, Chief Campbell?
No, more in line. We have not adjusted our rates for EMS reimbursement since July of 2010. Medi-Account approached us about looking at our current rates. We were well below the average. We are still below the average of the county, but this will put our rates more in line with our regional partners very close to us, Green Township, Miami.
Any questions?
None. I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading. All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-100, resolution declaring certain fire department uniform items no longer needed for public use, obsolete, unfit for the use acquired, have no value, authorizing disposal thereof, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution. Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading. All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Next, we move to citizen comments. I do not have any pink sheets up here, so we'll move to announcement of community events. Mr. Luby.
The Delhi Branch Library, The History of Statistics in Baseball with Joel Luckhaupt will be Tuesday, July 7th, 2015 at 7 p.m. and will be at the Delhi Branch Library at 5095 Foley Road. The Great Parks of Hamilton County Walk Club and Brown Bag Luncheon at Fernbane Park will be Wednesday, July 8th, 2015 at 11 a.m. And the Great Parks of Hamilton County Trail Run will be Saturday, July 11th, 2015 at 8 a.m. It will be at the Shawnee Lookout Little Turtle Trail, 2008 Lawrenceburg Road, North Bend, Ohio.
There is no need for executive session tonight. Trustee Seavey?
There being no further business, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Next regular scheduled Delhi Township Board of Trustees meeting will be Wednesday, July 8th, 2015. Thank you and have a good night. No, I knew you didn't. I knew you didn't want to say much, so I checked in with you, but.